the show went on, and and maybe not to the Irish crowd's liking, because the main event wound up being Lewis Smolka against Paddy Holohan, who was a hometown favorite, and Smolka didn't even let that bother him, because he seemed to dominate in the grappling, and I know he almost got a Darce earlier in the first round, but then he wound up getting a choke off of Holohan in the second round. So good for him not letting the crowd get to his head. That was a really good fight, and that was on Fight Pass. So a good thing too, because Fox Sports was probably too busy with the other sports to air a card that had so many fighters scratched for over injury, and that sucks, because if you remember when the UFC made their USADA announcement, they briefly touched on it, and I may have mentioned this before, but they mentioned that they were going to focus more on athletes and fighters and educating them how to train better. And it would seem that didn't happen, or it hasn't happened yet. They were talking about making a UFC lab, or call it a fight lab or something like that. You'll have to scroll through my articles in Page 2 Sports. I know I wrote about it in detail with the name and everything, but it doesn't look like the education part really went down as they said it would. I mean, everybody was pretty much focused on drug testing, but educating fighters and training safely, I think, matters more so, or if not just as much as drug testing in the sport. So they need to get on the ball with that. Otherwise, this is going to keep happening. And I don't know why the tournaments don't happen as much as they did in the past. Kickboxing does them, and the UFC did them early in the early non-unified rules days, which obviously, I mean, Bellator Dynamite pulled off a tournament. I think that was a big motivator to watch, and tournaments are the easiest way to clear up who gets a title shot, or who's going to be the champion, or who fights the champion when things like this happen. I mean, this interim champion nonsense. I mean, not only do people start question the validity of the choice of who's fighting for this interim title, but then the guy that wins has to deal with the interim title and being called paper champ and all that nonsense. It's not fair to the fighters. Wrestlers probably would agree with me. Traditional martial artists most likely will agree as well, that a tournament kills all that noise, and you get a true champion, or you get a true title contender, because the guy fought through all the toughest people in a certain group, like their weight class. World Series of Fighting is going to do an 8-man tournament, and that's probably going to get a lot of viewers just because of everybody involved in it. I think everybody in that tournament is fighting to see who fights Justin Gaethje next, because he's so dominant. But either way, it's an 8-man tournament, so I'm looking forward to that. But my point being, I wish the UFC would do tournaments and just kill all the interim champion noise, because like Daniel Cormier had to go through that war with Alexander Gustafsson just to solidify his title, because of the way he won it from Anthony Johnson when John Jones was stripped. They could have done a tournament to make a champion. I mean, they could have dragged that out to now, even. If it was a tournament and they all fought for title contention because it was vacated, then whoever won it wouldn't have to argue like I am the champion just because so and so got left for whatever reason. It would have been answered, and like I said, they could have been dragging that out till now. They could have been still fighting in the tournament and thrown John Jones in that just because of the way he was removed from the roster for what he did. Why make it easy for him? What did Lorenzo Fertitta say? It's a privilege to fight in the UFC. It's not a right, something along those lines. So that would underline his point if they did that. So maybe if somebody hears this, they'll do one. Just to line up Daniel Cormier's next opponent. So he should be sitting in the wings and waiting for the next opponent. Well, anyway, he's got the title, so that's kind of cancels. I think I've confused myself. Anyway, but yeah, I think that's it. Everything that's gone down since the last time we spoke. Coming to this weekend, I am looking forward to. There's actually New Jersey has a Cage Fury Fighting Championships, and they're going to do some experimental judging at CFFC 52. Cage Fury Fighting Championships number 52. It's going to be on Halloween, which makes it automatically cool. And they're going to actually, what makes it unique is that they're going to set aside some judges, kind of like boxed away from everything, all the noise, so that they're not influenced by cheers and all that. And they're going to be watching on monitors and doing separate judging. They're still going to use the ringside judges. Again, it's an experiment, so nothing's really changing. It's just an experiment to see how we can clean up or get better judging in the sport. And for you guys that don't know about the history of the sport and how the unified rules of MMA came to be, New Jersey had a lot to do with that. And so I think it's really cool that New Jersey is still experimenting with unique ways of improving the sport and cleaning up everything. Never mind the testing and stuff. I mean, because that's being worked out in the public eye every day, it seems. But I mean, there is something to be said for judging. I mean, especially when you look at when the UFC was in Boston. I can't get it out of my head. I think I've mentioned it before. Cathal Pendrad and Sean Spencer. I mean, Sean Spencer got robbed there. He got robbed in that fight. He should have won. The judges should have went his way. But that's whatever, man. That's why, like, everyone, winning it by decision is cool, but when you have messed up judges like with judges that judged that fight, that was just straight up wrong. So hopefully this experiment on Halloween works. That event is at CFFC 52 is here in New Jersey. It's going to be at the Borgata in Atlantic City, which is one of their more upscale hotel resort casinos. They hold a lot of events there, actually, and they do broadcast the fight syndicated on CBS Sports, or at least they had a few broadcasted there. I don't know if that deal is still live, because I feel like CBS, I don't know what they do with their sports. Fox definitely has Fox and Spike TV definitely have the MMA sports landscape. They have a firm grasp on the fan base, so we'll see. I mean, I'll watch it anywhere. I'm actually gonna, like I said, the UFC Dublin was on Fight Pass, and I keep telling my girlfriend I'm gonna give in and just get Fight Pass, because the Pancrase is on there now, Invicta's been on there, Titan, right? Is it Titan FC that's on there? Titan FC's on. I forget, man. I forget what. Sorry, I'm an old man. Like I said, I was off because of my birthday. So forgive me if my mind ain't right. I'm old. I'm older now. My bones hurt. So anyway, well, I guess that's it for me. Thanks, guys, for listening. If you want to hear this podcast and any of my other podcasts, they will be on my website, which is theblogboardjungle.com. You can follow me on Twitter. It's at Carbazel on Twitter. That's what this podcast is named for, the Carbazel MMA Podcast. And if you'd like to read me or any of my other combat sports writers' articles, you can follow us all over at page2sports.com. The Combat Sports channel is listed on the top of the page now, and I'm really proud of that. And all the guys that write there, because of the content we put up, we pushed out all these other whack things, and we used to be listed under quote unquote, it'd show like NFL, NBA, MLB, soccer, and then there'd be like other stuff, and it would say more, and you'd have to highlight more and bring up a drop-down menu to see combat sports, but more isn't there anymore. Now it's combat sports. So it's boxing, MMA, submission, grappling, anybody fighting for sport, you'll find there. So check it out over at page2sports.com. And we'll catch you next week. We're working on something over there. Just before I let you go, me and the other writers, we're going to start getting together to do a collaborative podcast, especially me and Daniel Zaldivar, who's our lead boxing guy for the Combat Sports channel. He's been killing it. Check his stuff out. He's on location a lot. Man, people like fighting in nice weather because he's in California, and he's been to King of the Cage training and boxing left and right, and he's got a lot of videos. He does some interviews. He interviewed a lady that's considering herself I forgot her name. She's calling herself the Ronda Rousey of boxing, and he got an interview with her, and there's a lot of open workouts. So check out my man's footwork, and when we start our podcast, it'll be here on the Blogboard Jungle as well as page2sports.com. Because he's on the West Coast and I'm on the East Coast, collaborating is a little difficult, but we're going to get it done, and we'll get it to you guys. So thank you for listening. Sorry for the absence. Watch the podcast here. Watch it on Page 2 Sports, and we'll catch you. I will be back next week. Thanks again for listening. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to email me at my contact email on the blogboardjungle.com, or shoot me a tweet on the Twitter. And you guys enjoy the rest of your week. Thanks for listening.